Hello, good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. Happy Leap Day, and thank you for joining us for our inaugural HLN-Y Membership Town Hall meeting. Welcome to HLN-Y's inaugural Town Hall meeting. This meeting is open to all current and interested members. The theme of tonight's meeting is finding your HLNY, to really tap into our own individual reasons for joining this network of healthcare executives. Tonight's agenda is as follows, which should help to provide some key information for you about the services HLNY can offer you and what we have in store for this year. Tonight's town hall is interactive as best as we can in this virtual setting. Please keep yourself on mute until the Q&A section of the meeting, where you will be asked to unmute. Feel free to leverage the Zoom chat or reactions throughout the meeting at any time that you have any questions, ideas, or thoughts to share. Please drop them in the chat. Questions will be responded to, if possible, in real time, and if not, during the Q&A. Please note this town hall will be recorded and will be made available online. Healthcare of New York is the local ACHE chapter. As such, we provide healthcare leaders a venue for networking, education, mentoring, and career development. Our mission is to advance healthcare leadership and management excellence through professional enrichment and continuing education for our members. On behalf of the HLNY board, I would like to thank all our sponsors for their continued support and engagement. Your generosity allows us to help underwrite the cost of our many educational and networking events. If interested in becoming a sponsor of HLNY, please reach out to sponsors@hlny.org. Next, we will hear from our Chair of Membership, Gina Velzen.
Thanks, Carol Marie. Hi, everyone. Good evening. As Carol Marie said, I'm the chair of membership committee. I wanted to share with you a little bit about the statistics of our current membership. This is current as of Monday. When we talk about HLNY membership, who are we really? Well, first things first, we're number one. We are the largest chapter of the ACHE with presently just over 1,900 members. Those members include full members, fellows, students, faculty, and others, and really a diverse range of individuals. I'm going to show you some more stats, but just to get a glimpse of who we have on the call now, and we have a lot more trickling in, can you help fill out this poll a second? What category best describes who you are? We have some great student representation. Fantastic that we have some non-members on this call. This town hall is specific for everyone interested potentially in joining HLNY or those who are already a part of our organization. We have a lot of mid-careerists here, several senior executives, some fellows. Fantastic. So we have really great representation on the call tonight. That's awesome. Moving on, I wanted to share a little bit about our, oh, sorry, I didn't share the results. You can see here what the results are of who's on the call right now. Of the titles of our organization, of those 1,900 individuals, we have a range of individuals ranging from all levels of leadership, many director level. Another quarter of our membership is vice president or C-suite level. We have representation across clinical leadership positions as well as academia and other supportive roles. The companies that we have represented, not surprisingly, we have our major health systems of New York represented with our largest representation from Northwell, not from Northwell or Northwell people. give a shout, followed by Mount Sinai. This is really only the top 15 companies, though. The chart would be massive. We have just over 560 or so organizations really represented in our membership. So shout out to all the ends of one for representing their organizations. That's fantastic as well. In terms of our locations, again, we serve the New York metropolitan area. Not surprisingly, nearly 20% of our membership is really located in New York in terms of their work areas, followed closely by our Long Island counties. And for the sake of being controversial and as an icebreaker, as I'm not a native New Yorker, I don't have skin in the game, I want you to respond to this poll. What is the best New York region? Mainly the boroughs, expansions into Long Island here, as well as Upper New York. Seeing those responses coming in. We have 70% participation at this moment. We'll give it a second longer. All right, ending the poll, we have 22% Manhattan said it was their favorite. Close behind, we have Brooklyn and Hudson Valley. I know this poll probably wasn't very fair. It's not all encompassing, I suppose, but I know really the correct answer was Queens anyway, so. If I haven't lost you already and you haven't dropped off in protest, a few fun facts about our membership with HLN-Y. We actually go through an annual cycle with our membership. We're closely approaching one of those cutoff periods, which is April 1st, where all of our members who are outstanding payment of their dues for this current year fall off our chapter roster. They kind of disappear and have to rejoin. Don't let that be you. Currently, there are 445 members still outstanding payment, and I promise not to call out any of you on this town hall by name. But if you were worried I was going to call you out, then you should probably sign into ache.org and pay your dues. ACHE membership dues are actually $345 per year, but it's actually less for the first 5 years that you're a member, and that's really to lower the bar for those who are transitioning, joining our organization, maybe transitioning from student membership. Our first year dues are also prorated, so if you're new to the organization, if you can't make up your mind and decide to join later in the year, you don't pay for the full year's worth, and you can easily set up auto renewal payments and installment plans. You can find out more information online for that. Many didn't understand that this is actually available to you. Organizations like your workplace or your school may be willing to reimburse your annual membership to HLN-Y as a professional organization. So you should go ahead and ask your boss about that or your organization. I'm privileged to have Memorial Sloan Kettering cover my and reimburse my membership. So I'm very appreciative of that. So with those fun facts, I am very excited to pass the mic to a very impressive former HLN-Y member and past president, Allison Flynn Gaffney, who will be sharing her testimonial and personal HLN-Y story. Allison?
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm just so thrilled and honored and humbled to be here this evening with all of you. So thank you for the invitation. I think I have 2 minutes to do a speed round of my why, but at the same time, I would encourage you all, and I see some folks filling up the chat with their why, but please feel free to put that in the chat of, your why of why you're part of HLN-Y. How many times can I say why in one second? So having started as a student way back in the day, so yes, I am about to be 55 this year, so I am old, relatively speaking. I started as a student at Iona University, and I would say to all of you this evening that HLN-Y and Iona University are probably the two most impactful communities in my career, professionally and personally, that I have had for over 30 years. And being able to look at it as kind of the three ways I look at it are connect, being curious, and contributing. So connecting, the original reason I joined was because other students, other colleagues were joining, and I wanted to meet people and build and grow my network. And so I encourage you, if you're either considering membership on the call tonight, take the leap, do it, invest in yourself, see if your organization will invest in you, because you have a built-in community that lasts a lifetime to be able to support you on your career journey, personally and professionally. And then I would also say, be curious, see how you can learn and educate yourself and others based on your experience, whether you're an emerging professional or a seasoned leader. And then contributing, volunteering, raising your hand, looking to be part of the board, again, looking to work on a committee, supporting events that HLNY has. As a past president, it was just a great honor to be able to meet so many people, help influence and impact our industry in a different way. And I then relocated to Utah, of all places. And my first call was to Utah healthcare executives. And I had another built-in community based on my experience through HLNY. So it's been wonderful. I know one of my former colleagues and friends, John, is going to talk about FACHI and fellowship, but I obtained mine in 2012, and I support that as well. And I'm happy to be a reference for folks and talk about that after the fact. Link into me, send me some direct chats or messages. I am here, even though I don't live in New York anymore. I am still very connected through my current role in particular with the healthcare market in New York. And I just want to also say, before handing it over to Darren, those that know me know I love quotes. I believe the words of others inspire us. So it's never too late to be what you might have been. And that's a quote by George Eliot. And I'll pose for the chat for someone to look that up and let me know if George is a male or a female. And I'm handing it over to Darren.
Allison, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And we're so grateful for you and the rest of the team in terms of providing the value back to our membership in terms of your experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darren Daraj, and I have the pleasure of going over with our membership today our HLN-Y leadership structure, our committees, and I get the honor of introducing our 2024 Board of Directors and Committee Chairs. We are your healthcare leaders, board of directors, led by, for 2024, Carl Marie Memnon, our president. I have the pleasure of being our president-elect this year, and Leah Ramjet following in her footsteps as our immediate past president. The presidency of Healthcare Leaders of New York is a 3-year commitment, starting as president-elect, moving into the following year as president, and then concluding the 3-year term as immediate past president, ensuring the continuity and the baton passing from one administration to the next to ensure our organization continues to grow and continues to be there to provide value for our incredible membership. Along with our board of directors is Christina Boji-Claton, our vice president, Rachel Rudich, our treasurer, Carla Sison, our secretary, and rounding out our board of directors, Paul Vitale, our ACHE regent for New York. Next slide. Along with our board of directors, a part of the board are members at large. These leaders help to manage the various regions, a part of the entire Healthcare Leaders of New York membership. And as I indicated, we love all of our regions: Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, New York, Staten Island, Long Island, Dutchess County, Westchester, etc. Upstate New York. We have so much to love and be appreciative of, and we recognize all of them. Or thank you, Aaliyah, Orange County, Rockland, and Sullivan. And a part of those regions are members at large that represent them. Maya Williams for Hudson Valley, Brittany Foster for Long Island, Lenny Achan for New York City, and for all territories, Natasha Ellie Lesant. We also have a part of our board, special advisors that help ensure that we are continuing to focus in terms of what makes up our membership. Healthcare leaders are not just clinical, not just administrative leaders, but also are clinical. And a part of our cohort are students, early careerists, middle careerists, senior careerists, along with those that continue to give their time to give back. Having individuals help us to keep pace and recognize the needs of those cohorts, a part of our membership, helps ensure the value back for everyone a part of Healthcare Leaders of New York. So I want to recognize Anne Marie McDonald, our Clinical Inclusion Special Advisor, and Michael Gatto, our Senior Executive Engagement Special Advisor to the board. As any organization, as our healthcare leadership cohort is aware of, there will always be a table of organization to help ensure our structure and help ensure our sustainability, not just from the past, the present, but of course, to move forward into the future. As you can see from the slide deck, our table of organization and leadership structure for 2024 is lined up with our president leading the way, along with myself and president-elect, managing the rest of the executive board and the committees in terms of the activities they manage and the executive board members that they report up to. On the side, under the executive committee, you can see other members of the board, the regent, past president, special advisors, along with all of the elected members of the board members at large, along with the executive board. This leadership structure, along with your board of directors, your special advisors, and your committee chairs, help to ensure that your healthcare leaders of New York continue to be here now into the future, to continue to provide value back to our membership always. And now I have the pleasure of handing it off to one of our committee members to share her experiences being a part of Healthcare Leaders of New York, sharing her HLN-Y. Mutaka.
Thank you so much, Darren, and good evening, everyone. And thank you all for being here tonight. And I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to share with you all the value that I've gained from volunteering with HLN-Y and my why for joining HLN-Y. And that is because I wanted the opportunity personally to be a part of something bigger than myself and to give back to an organization that has given so much to me since my joining back in 2021. Having volunteered with the DEI committee and now marketing, I personally can attest to the fact that I have gained a wide array of skill sets from strategic and program planning within DEI to now learning how to navigate the intricacies of communication across different media platforms and marketing. And nothing beats the feeling of seeing your ideas adopted and the work that you've done behind closed doors come together in real time to provide the space for professionals like you and I to continue to learn, to network, to grow together and promote excellence in healthcare leadership and delivery. I know that it is a time commitment. And so, if time is currently not your friend and prohibits you from committing to a committee, there's still many ways that you can get involved through attending events, responding to surveys and feedback requests. So shameless plug, stay tuned for the one to come after this session. You can spread the word for upcoming events through word of mouth or reposting our posts on LinkedIn, as well as responding to the call if ever asked to serve the organization by being a moderator or a panelist. Anything that you can contribute goes a very long way to supporting the work of committee members and driving the mission of HLNY. I, as an early careerist, I can attest to the fact that what I have given in volunteering does not amount to half of what I've gained, as it's opened the doors to new connections, new skill sets, a variety of different perspectives, as well as mentors, which I saw, many of you talked about in the chat, wanting to network, wanting to give back. There's no better opportunity than volunteering with a committee. And I'm personally very grateful for the personal and professional development that HLNY has afforded me, and hope you all will be joining a committee after this. And I will now be handing over to Gina to provide an overview of the different committees that we have. And I thank you all for your time today.
Thank you so much, Mutaka. That was a fantastic testimonial. And what we hope to elicit from all of you is kind of interest and a little bit of awareness of all of the committees that we have. As Darren had mentioned and showed you on that org chart, we have 10 committees as a part of HLNY that report to our board. I'm going to actually drop in the chat because I'm curious for those who are a part of committees or have served on committees, which of them you've been participating in the past. But these committees only exist because of the willingness of volunteers like Mutaka and others who are willing to give up their free time really outside of their professional careers and day jobs to give back to the organization and to the community. I'm going to give a brief overview of each of the committees on behalf of all of them and the chairs. We'll call out where there are opportunities still to get involved this year. Generally, with the cycle of things, towards the end of the year is when we solicit interest to volunteer for the following year. So since it's end of February, we're kind of all set in most committees, but pay close attention to where you can get involved or where you may be interested to get involved in the future. Our first committee that I'll overview for you today is advancement. This is actually a new committee as of this year, led by Ben. I won't read through the purpose and goals of each committee, but you can see them on the side of each of the slides I'll share here. This committee is really aimed at supporting our members who are interested to pursue the FACHI credential, the Fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives, or recredentialing. Ben and his team are dedicated to those who are interested in progress or looking to recertify. We'll hear more about from Ben about the FACHI advancement criteria later in the agenda, so more to unpack there. The next committee dear to my heart is, as I served as the chair of analytics the last 2 years, is the analytics committee. This committee exists to strengthen our organization, HLNY, with the power of our data. How are we performing related to other ACHE chapters? We're the largest, let's be the greatest. Where are our opportunities for growth, engagement, advancement, and satisfaction for our members? And I don't know if you can hear an ambulance in the background because I live by a hospital, but Alex and his team will help the board and all our other committees think strategically around those opportunities driven by data. The award for our largest committee is our DEI committee. Shout out to them. Shout out to Danielle for recruiting such a great team. And I must say this slide doesn't even show everyone involved. We didn't fit all the faces here, but Aaliyah, our immediate past president, and Natasha, our board member at large, also participate in this committee. I think that really speaks to and shows the importance to so many of our members within HLNY to the goals of diversity, equity, and inclusion, not just in their own work and organizations, but in HLNY. Several of the events later in the year, like our diversity panel at Mini Congress, as well as our annual Better Together event, are organized by this team. Finance Committee works very closely with Rachel, our HLNY treasurer, to really keep our books clean and ensure there's transparency in our income and expenses. They're working this year to really help us elevate our cost accounting and budgeting for individual events. Gala Committee, notice the icon at the top right of this slide. Gala is one of those committees actually still seeking volunteers if you're interested to get involved. As we know, the annual Gala is one of our largest and most exciting HLNY events taking place each year to celebrate our many sponsors and to recognize scholarship winners as well as contributions of our annual Award of Distinction honoree. It truly takes an army to pull off an event like that, to plan and host it. So if event planning is up your alley or you're keen to lend a hand, please reach out to gala@hlny.org. Our Higher Education Network, or HEN committee, exists to serve our student members, both undergraduate and graduate healthcare administration students in the New York metro region. Zach has done a fantastic job leading this committee, really growing our network of affiliated schools over the last several years. And we'll hear more from him about exciting opportunities specifically for students and some upcoming events from HEN later in the town hall. Marketing Committee is responsible for all of our publicity, promotion, and communication with our membership from our website, email, LinkedIn. Last year, the great work that Halim and the marketing committee has done was really recognize the ACHE as being creative and innovative and really worth sharing as best practices to other ACHE chapters at our annual chapter leaders conference. So well done to them, and hoping to continue that success. We're going to get a chance to hear from Halim personally about his journey to become the marketing chair a little bit later. Membership committee is my personal favorite for no particular reason. And I'm really delighted with all of the volunteers that I get to work alongside, having such a large committee that's truly representative of the diversity of our HLN-Y membership. We have nurses, physicians, non-clinicians, consultants, analysts. We have a student member alongside a chief nursing officer, those who work in the insurance health benefits side as well. It's a range of experiences, perspectives, and knowledge that can contribute to this committee. Our goals are to hear from you as our membership and to really understand what you need from HLNY and see how we can continue to grow our organization. My committee helped to organize this town hall and design a survey that you'll be receiving at the end. And while we could technically mark off that third goal there tonight, we know our job isn't done as of today, end of February, but it's really to commit to engage with all of you throughout this year and really keep hearing from you what you'd like to see. Programs committee, Samya and Reshmi, have co-chaired our programs committee for several years and have done an astounding job really continually putting out exceptional educational programs and events for HLNY. So kudos to them. These programs meet ACHE standards for provision of continuing education credits, whether those are qualified educational credits or ACHE in-person or virtual credits, which are required for the FACHE credentialing. They are seeking volunteers for specific events. So if you're interested to get involved with any of those upcoming events this year, a small plug for that is that you can potentially have comp tickets for volunteering and participating. So you would like a free ticket, come in and lend a hand. Sponsorship committee, last but certainly not least, our sponsorship committee is responsible to engage and recruit our benefactors, our many organizational sponsors of HLNY. We offer a multi-tiered sponsorship bundle with various benefits, including engagement and interaction with our broad membership at our annual gala awards dinner in June. If you or your organization may be interested to sponsor HLNY, please reach out to Divya. Speaking of the gala, I know that I now have the pleasure of introducing you to our next speaker, sharing his Finding Your HLNY testimonial, John Skanga. Fun fact, he is the original creator of the concept of the annual gala awards dinner. So John.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? And I apologize, my commitment, Jenna, thank you. She allowed me 30 minutes and I can't wait to, no, I'm kidding with you. I have 2 minutes. So real quick, I'm John Skanga. I just want to talk about, fellowship. But first I'd like to say, and I have kids of similar age to folks on the call. I'm a lot older than Allison. That at times they come home and they say to me, I'm just caught up in work and I'm not really being recognized. And the one thing I can say about which is so important. Imagine a world where you can just work in an organization that doesn't know you, but it allows you to recognize and differentiate yourself by being on the number of committees that were spoken to today or participating in the gala that comes up in June. There's no impediment to that other than yourself and your ability to differentiate yourself. Being a healthcare executive, and I'll talk about fellowship in a moment, but we live in a world today where, you're applying for a new job and, you go online and someone looks through resumes. And the truth of the matter is, how do you, and you probably think about this all the time, how do you differentiate yourself in the work world? And I think, A, the college is a recognizable differentiator. B, I think becoming a fellow is a differentiator. And you may say, really, based on what? Well, based on my life experiences, I was obviously, I led some major organizations and I recruited through a department. But whenever I saw someone who was a fellow or participated in Congress or was part of ACHE, I wanted to sort of take a second look at that resume and see who they are and what they were about. So from a employee perspective and hopefully, hiring perspective, that made a difference to me. The other thing about fellowship is it gives you the opportunity to really learn. I was in supply chain. I started as a healthcare executive in a hospital at Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center. But, the world's evolving quickly. And it was great with all these different courses to participate and learn as we, move forward with different things. So that's important too. And finally, I leave you with this, and I'm open for questions and stuff. You have to differentiate yourself. What a wonderful organization, again, I'm repeating myself, to participate in. I mean, Jenna made light of sort of what I did, back in 1887, kidding, but we had, early on, before we actually created the HLNY Gala, which was created, I don't know, 30 years ago. I said to myself, you know what, this is not working. I was a leader of HLNY, and Long Island had their own, awards for regents, and Lower Hudson Valley and Manhattan had one. I said, hey, let's put it together, man. Right? Let's rock this. Let's really get a gathering together. And we did. Our first event was, in excess of 400 people. And I think you learned today that legacy continues. That didn't come from my work at Presbyterian. That came from my work at HLNY. And I leave you with this, there's this urban legend that people don't get jobs through HLNY. And I'm living proof that that's actually true, that people can get a job. I was an emerging leader at HLNY, and someone came up to me and said, hey, I'm looking for someone like you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And, who do you know here at HLNY, and so on and so forth. And I was throwing out names. And what I didn't realize was this individual had watched my work at HLNY, and he did some research on me. But lo and behold, he was actually looking for me to join him. And I did join this organization. And that did not come from anywhere else but participating in committees, formalizing the annual gala. So I have to tell each and every one of you, if you're in a rut, or, you want to be more creative, this is the place to be. And as you advance, people recognize it. When you go on different activities or meetings, people see it. There's no better place than to participate, show your creativity, show your desire. Stranger things have happened, and that led me to, going to Greater New York Hospital Association, which led me on to group purchasing. So circuitous route, but I do believe it can occur. So thank you, Jenna, for inviting me, and the leadership at HLNY, and I look forward if there's any questions.
Thanks so much, John. I think we'll go ahead and pass it off next to Ben, our chair of our advancement committee, to hear a little bit more about that FACHI certification that you were able to obtain and that benefited your career.
Thank you, Jana. I really appreciate the handoff. And John, thank you for that FACHI testimonial. I can certainly say that, I've certainly watched you as a leader in the market over the years, and certainly have inspired me to achieve my fellow credential as well. So in terms of the FACHI advancement overview, I would like to walk you through the requirements for getting credentialed. Next slide. So in terms of credentialing, you need to be a current ACHE member. You also need a master's degree or post-baccalaureate degree, an executive level management position, and I will go through in a little bit more detail about some of these items in the subsequent slides, but wanted to certainly share a visual so that you get a sense of what's required. Submit references, continuing education, community, civic volunteer activities. In terms of membership, you need to be a member with a 1-year tenure as an ACHE member, faculty associate, or international associate. In terms of education, a copy of your graduate degree or post-baccalaureate, healthcare management experience. This particular requirement, currently hold an executive healthcare management level position and have a minimum of 5 years healthcare management experience. That's often shared with the American College as your position on a table of organization. In terms of references, obtained 2 references. And I can say that as the inaugural committee of FACI of HLNY, we can serve as a reference for your fellow application. But there are 2 requirements: a structured interview reference from a current fellow, and also a reference from another fellow, a senior leader in your organization. And we're happy to support that. Next slide. In terms of continuing education, and there has been some changes, and we do solicit quite a number of questions related to continuing education, but we've highlighted these items here as clear as we possibly could, so that you can, as you go through the year with attending HLNY events or otherwise, you can continue to document your credentialing education requirements. So you need to earn a minimum of 36 continuing education credits related to healthcare management and administration within 3 years prior to submitting an application. So this would include a minimum of 12 ACHE in-person education credits, 12 ACHE virtual interactive education credits, and up to 12 qualifying education credits. And these are the revisions as of 1/1/2024. So these are the requirements for this year moving forward in terms of your continuing education requirements. In terms of volunteer activities, there are 4 volunteer requirements within the 3 years prior to applying for advancement. So 2 are civic or community activities. So if you serve on a board of a healthcare related organization or a local civic organization in your community, those would serve as that volunteer activity. And 2 healthcare related activities. In the past, and certainly for this year, HLNY has committed to provide healthcare-related volunteer activities that will help support your volunteer activity for credentialing as well. Next. So once you submit all these requirements to ACHE, you are now eligible to sit for the Board of Governors exam. Highlighted here are the knowledge areas, the number of questions, and the percentage of those questions relative to the overall exam. And what's really involved in this final step in becoming a fellow, as you can see, there are various knowledge areas such as healthcare, management, leadership, finance, HR, laws and regulation, quality, and so forth. But it also gives you a breakout of, the number of questions specific to various areas. I will mention that there are various courses that provide an opportunity to learn or to refresh your knowledge in these various areas and to take advantage of these courses, and as well as any opportunities to connect with other fellows who have successfully passed this exam, to just have a conversation about the various knowledge areas and how to prepare for the exam. ACHE has quite a number of resources that are made available, flashcards and other materials that you can utilize to prepare for the exam. I personally attended an ACHE sponsored event that really helped me prepare for the exam. So I would encourage that as well. Next slide. So again, I think this is a summary visual of the requirements for the various steps that are involved. We encourage you to apply if you meet the requirements, pass the Board of Governors exam, and advance to fellow. I will also mention that we have an FACHE overview webinar that is scheduled for March 14th from 1 to 2 Central Time, and we encourage you to attend to learn additional information and to continue in your journey in earning your FACHE. Next slide. Okay, at this time, I will turn it over to Halim. And if you have any interest in FACHE, you can always reach out to the FACHE committee. We're here to serve you and to ensure that we provide the appropriate level of support in your journey in becoming a fellow. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to you, Halim.
Hey, thanks, Ben. So a little bit about my story as I transitioned from a student member into being a full-fledged member, and then working on the committee and working my way as becoming a chair of the committee. So back in 2020, I was actually a teacher's assistant to our president-elect, Darren. And, we had our initial meeting, and one of the first things he said, he says, you're a member of HLN-Y, right? I was like, yeah. He goes, you're on a committee now. He goes, and he delegated me right to a committee, threw me in, and ever since then, I was really involved with the committee. I started going to events. I started working under the leadership of the chair at that time, and I was being trained in how to navigate a lot of the platforms that we use, with MailChimp and the website and things like that. It's really important to know. It's not like I have a marketing background. I don't have website. I don't have knowledge on how to operate a website and how to maintain it. And these are things that I learned along the way. And I got a lot of the support from the leadership to make sure that I had the resources at my disposal to, carry out my function and roles effectively. So back in 2022, I started transitioning into a co-chair position, and 2023 was my first full year as the committee chair for the marketing committee. So now I've been able to onboard 2 new members onto the marketing committee, and they're being groomed to learn how to navigate all of the websites and the platforms that we use to disseminate information throughout the membership. But what's really important for me to appreciate and to share with the rest of the membership, as I transitioned from a student member into a member with ACHE and then a committee chair, was that, I had a degree of commitment that I just wanted to be able to serve. It's, because I transitioned from a not-for-profit organization, and it's kind of in me to give back. And, as a result, I've been able to continue to share my experiences in this position with HLNY and, provide benefit to the chapter. So, encourage others to do the same thing as you transition from a student member into a member position. And with that, I'll pass over to Zach, who's the chair of our HEN committee.
All right, good evening, everyone. Hope you've learned a lot so far from the program. My name is Zach Almer. I'm the chair of the Higher Education Network for HLNY. What does Higher Education Network mean? Essentially, all of the schools that are affiliated with HLNY happen to sign what's called an affiliation agreement with our national chapter, the American College of Healthcare Executives. At a very high level, this form essentially states that both parties, the school leadership and the chapter leadership, will work together to provide resources, networking, and education to the students at the schools. So over the last 10 to 15 years, we've accumulated a lot of schools that happen to fall under our umbrella, 17 in total. You could see the logos from a lot of the schools below. And I do want to give a special acknowledgement to 3 of the schools which happen to also sponsor our organization as a whole, which happen to be Fordham, Baruch, and Hofstra University. So a lot of these schools have already been a part of our network. A few are relatively new, but either way, we're very excited for the opportunity to provide education and resources to your students, as mentioned before. HEN services both undergraduate and graduate students. We tend to lean a little bit more towards graduate students, specifically with the scholarships that we offer, which I'll mention. But that said, our programs and the resources that we pass along to the program directors are definitely applicable to a student that's interested in healthcare administration, regardless of the level that they're at. Based on the PowerPoint slide that I saw earlier, it looks like maybe 9% now of HLN-Y members happen to be student members. And student membership is much more affordable than full-time membership. So it's $75 at a fixed rate per year for the length of time that you happen to be a student in an undergraduate or graduate program. Now that number jumps to, I think it's $160 after your first year of becoming a full-time member. But that said, I know of plenty of programs who will comp membership while they're a student at schools for students to either join HLNY or to attend select events. So this is a plug to advocate for yourself. And if there's something that really interests you, go for it. It doesn't hurt to ask. The worst that happens is no, and you may have to pay out of pocket for a really great experience that'll benefit you. We'll go to the next slide. So one of the primary values of what the Higher Education Network for HLNY offers are our scholarships. We have 2 unique scholarship opportunities that we offer every single year. The scholarships are actually open now, and the window will close on April 17th. But there's a lot of benefits to becoming a scholarship winner. I actually see a lot of folks on here who've won scholarships in the past, and it's great to see the continued involvement. But primarily, the winners receive a $1,500 check each that we hope that the students will use towards their professional development. They receive a lot of acknowledgement and notoriety at our HLNY gala roughly a month later. And they also receive a lot of really good press. So your name, if you win, will be posted on our website, on our social media channels, in email fashions, in our newsletters, and in future testimonials over time. And it's just a wonderful way to recognize your acknowledgement of your winning the award. So I definitely recommend you apply. They're competitive, but you know, we're receiving more and more impressive scholarship applications every single year. So it's a beautiful thing to see. We'll go to the next slide. So our keynote scholarship is called the Award of Distinction. It has been around for quite some time. And the Award of Distinction is a $1,500 stipend that's given to up to 4 graduate students who have demonstrated academic excellence and desire to become a future healthcare star. So the student has to be a graduate student enrolled with a school that's affiliated with ACHE. So through one of those 17 schools mentioned earlier. The student must be enrolled as a member of ACHE at the time they apply, and there must be a certain GPA requirement for it. And the application itself, it consists of an essay stating their specific career goals, listing out their community service, obtaining letters of reference, and providing a transcript. So, you know, it takes a little bit of time to put together. So if you haven't started, but you think you're eligible, please feel free to contact us at hen@hlny.org with any questions that you have. But the window is starting to close soon, and it closes sooner than you think. So I wanted to raise awareness of this and our second scholarship, which we'll get to in the next slide. Our other scholarship is relatively new. It's called the Leonard Chan Senior Health Equity Scholarship. And it is similar in focus to the Award of Distinction, but the notable difference is it emphasizes people that are striving to and have already made an impact in reducing or eliminating health disparities in the New York metro region. So the criteria is similar, but the really unique benefit of this program in particular is that the winners of the program are automatically enrolled in a 9-month mentorship program where they are paired one-to-one with an executive at a different healthcare organization in New York. Now, the program has been around for about 3 years. We've had a lot of great success stories from it so far, and it's a really great opportunity to get individual one-on-one attention per month with folks that you may not normally get exposure to. And in addition to that, any winner of this particular scholarship is eligible to attend a free quarterly webinar that the Higher Education Network puts on just for those alumni related to a topic of healthcare administration and leadership. So there's a lot of benefits to both scholarships, but they're both definitely worth going for, and I'd highly recommend it. We'll go to the next slide. We also have a new opportunity to recognize students this year. It's called the Poster Competition, and it actually was created through a networking conversation between several of the program directors in our network late last year. And essentially what we're asking is for students to submit a 350 to 500 word abstract that demonstrates their knowledge, experience, and best practices in the field of healthcare research. This is really designed to help spotlight our undergraduate students in particular who aren't eligible for the graduate scholarships. But that said, graduate students are also eligible to apply for this as well. The portal is open for these scholarships too. You can find them on our website, and the applications are due by March 27th. HLNY will take the abstract of the winners that are selected. We will create a poster. We will have it set up for you. And we require that you attend our gala in June and present your accomplishment to all members that show up to that event. So it'll be a really wonderful opportunity for whoever wins this competition. And we're very excited to receive your applications for it. We'll go to the next slide. And finally, the Higher Education Network of HLNY is sponsoring an event that's going to take place in 2 weeks. It's an event that we hold biannually, and we've held since 2021, and it's called Meet Your HEN Representatives. And what we do is we create an informal environment virtually where students and early careerists can come to a senior member of the board and volunteers of the HEN committee to ask any questions that they like about career development and any roadblocks that might be in their way. We found that for the students that do attend, they really appreciate getting that rare exposure and experience for a free session with people that might be able to solve some problems for them. And it's really beneficial to everyone involved. So wanted to raise awareness of this event. It is free to register again, and you can find the link to do so on our website. So we look forward to having you there. Thank you.
Gina, is it okay if I unmute?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good night. My name is Rashmi. I'm one of the co-chairs of the programs committee, and Gina gave a brief overview about what we do earlier. And we are basically the committee that's responsible for putting on all of the events, the educational events and networking events throughout the year. And we just wanted to give a brief overview of what's to expect throughout the rest of 2024 and some save the dates for you guys. So Gina, you can go to the next slide. Perfect. So these are the events that we have year over year. I'm sure some of you recognize some of these and may even be in some of the pictures. So upcoming, we actually have an event next week that we have a slide for specifically later on, but that one's going to be on March 6th, then Cocktails with the Chiefs on April 18th, our Gala Awards, which Zach mentioned, where they'll have the poster competition winners featured on June 11th, the Past President's Boat Cruise, I think everyone's favorite event on July 23rd, where we have the opportunity to honor all of the past presidents of HLN-Y. The Better Together event, this is a tentative date. We don't have this may be subject to change, but tentatively in August. Mini Congress tentatively at the end of September. The Frank Camerano Memorial Dinner November 19th on the campus of St. John's University. So that's a great event for all of our student members or interested student members to join us for as well. And our holiday party tentatively in December. Jeannie, you could advance the slide, sorry. So our big event, the one that is usually our kickoff event for the year, our annual Cocktails with the Chiefs, is going to be on Thursday, April 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. If any of you came last year, it's the same location as last year. We're very much looking forward to this upcoming panel. So please save the date for that, and it'll be posted on the website soon. And next slide, Gina. This is a reminder about the upcoming ACHE Congress in Chicago. I believe, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the it's on the slide. Early bird rates end today. So if you are thinking about going and want to get the early bird pricing, register before 12 p.m. Central Time tonight. And HLNY actually hosts a dinner at Congress for anyone from New York or from our chapter that attends in Chicago. You're welcome to join us for dinner at Gino's East on the Monday night. And I think the next slide is about our event next week. So next week, we are hosting an event at Lenox Hill Hospital about gender equity and healthcare leadership. We have a wonderful panel of leaders that are working to advance gender equity in all of our organizations. And we invite you to register. Registration is still open on the website, and you are able to register throughout the rest of the week and next week if you are interested in joining us. And we hope that you do. And as Gina said earlier, we are always looking for volunteers for any of the events or day of the event. So if you are interested, feel free to shoot us an email, and we look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Rachel. All right, well, we reached the end of the content overload. We hope it was a whirlwind of information that was helpful for you, depending on your interests and place in your career, what you're looking for with the organization. We have a couple minutes left that we really wanted to open up to you. I will draw attention to folks who may be wanting to drop off at this point. Of really letting us know if you found this town hall to be helpful. You can fill in that poll. We also have a QR code on the screen for the membership survey that will be also sent to you after, which is a little bit more comprehensive, should take 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. But in the meantime, did anyone have any questions? We have many of the board members or the past testimonials that were shared, any questions that you had, or even if you wanted to share some of your ideas and thoughts for us this year. Feel free to raise your hand or drop in the chat. Any of your questions? I see in the chat here, sharing opportunities to get involved in committees. For next steps, would you recommend we email someone, apply via a form? Exactly. So the committees, many of them are largely set, but in terms of the gala committee and the sponsor, the programs committee who are interested in volunteers for events still this year, please do reach out to those email addresses. So programs@hlny.org or gala@hlny.org. And again, later in the year, when we're seeking volunteers for these committees into 2025, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. Any additional questions? And again, can be personalized questions too, to John or Allison, Mutaka, Halim, any of our testimonials.
Hey, Janet, can I make one comment?
Absolutely. More
Sure.
than
I
one.
just want to let everyone know, because I think in many ways scholarships and Zach, good job. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have another scholarship that we're trying to promote, and it's going to be 3 $5,000 scholarships for early careerists, those who are, and I'm using the ACHE definition, which I think is under 40, but they're out there and have some school debt. So more details will be coming, and it'll hopefully enhance the gala when we announce the 3 award winners, up to 3 award winners. So more details coming. Very energized about that. And part of it is you just have to be working and, working hard. And there's other requirements in the application, one of which is, I think, a 1 or 2 page sort of overview of who you are. And we look forward to actually having 3 award winners in June.
That's fantastic.
Gina, this is Reshmi. I apologize. I meant to add some things during the program's review that I think may be intriguing to members. So we've actually had really great, large ACHE representation at previous events too. Last year we had Delvecchio Finley, the chairman of ACHE, come and present at our mini Congress. And Michael Facina and Saul Torres are also both past regents and governors of ACHE as well, that are very heavily involved and were speakers last year during a lot of our events as well, Cocktails with the Chiefs. So, it's a really great opportunity for members that are looking to kind of learn more about ACHE or, be inspired by a lot of these leaders that we have locally from HLN-Y, become senior leaders in ACHE as well, to network and learn more from them also.
Thank you, Reshmi. I'm seeing a question in the chat here from Sean. Is there mentorship or are there mentorship opportunities for aspiring leaders? Who would like to take that question? Carl Maria, I'll pass that one off to you.
Yes, we do have mentorship opportunities, even through the Leonard Aitchen Scholarship Award program that we have. So there are opportunities for mentorship. And Sean, if you have any specific questions, you can also certainly reach out to me as well.
If I may, Carl Marie, to your point, all of your board members at large, all of our committee chairs, and all of the executive directors on the HLNY board, we are your board members. We are your HLNY. We're here to help. So in terms of mentorship, sponsorship, in coaching, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. either by the email address of the positions or to us directly, or to CM Call Marie, our president, to help facilitate an appropriate mentor, sponsor, or coach for anyone that's interested in that level of connection. And I would say our parent organization, the American College of Healthcare Executives, also has an incredible mentorship element to our membership that you're all a part of. So another resource to utilize. And I just want to say, on behalf of, myself and the team, we're so excited for our members, and we really encourage all of you to participate and join. This is your organization, and only together can we continue to add value and help each other rise up during our times. So that was just something I just wanted to say in terms of participate, raise your hand, and join in the work that we do every day.
Thanks for that message, Darren. I think on that note, we're at the top of the hour. We really thank you for joining the inaugural town hall that we hosted. And in the chat, thanks Aaliyah for shouting out to Michael Gatto and Dr. Lewis Marshall, who really conceived of this idea to really host a forum for us to really interact and engage with our membership and hear from you directly about what you'd like to see and how we can best serve you. So we hope you were inspired with our different testimonials and the information we shared to help you find your individual HLNY. If you aren't already, please follow us on our LinkedIn, see and hear about upcoming events on our website, as well as opting into our HLNY emails. If you have any further questions, not specific maybe to those committees where we flashed all those email addresses, but you can always reach out to me at membership@hlny.org. This town hall was recorded. We will post this onto YouTube and distribute the link to that recording, as well as the slides that were shared for you to refer to. As I mentioned before, please take a little bit of time to fill out this membership survey. That'll help us understand you, your needs, your preferences a little bit better, and really appreciate your time. So with that, have a great evening, and we look forward to seeing you at our future events this month. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks, Carl Marie.